On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oaks, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oaks.
Zach, I don't know if you saw it or not last week on Twitter, but who had in the passenger, Jenny and I had lunch with Chad and Jade, our old podcasting buddy Chad. We got to meet up last week.
Believe it or not, I was going to ask about that. Yeah, I saw this candid photo of you in a car, and you're like, look who we found, just hanging out on the sidewalk.
Just picked him up. He's a hitchhiker.
Well, because, Chad really got famous and known after he did his YouTube videos.
Sitting in the truck.
So I thought it was funny to get a picture of him in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Without a cowboy hat, by the way.
That was really sweet. He's, I try to keep up with him. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
How'd you guys run it? I mean, did you just happen to be in town, or is he just hanging out?
We set it up. He was finally going to be in town for 2 or 3 days, and he was like, hey, let's have lunch. And he and his wife came over, and then Jenny and I met him, and we had lunch for a couple hours, got to all catch up. And it's hard between all of us and our schedules to ever get time to actually sit down and catch up, so we finally did. But by the way, Jenny, my wife, on Zach,
Hi,
Matt.
Hello. I wonder if there's some way, we were just talking about monetizing things on the show. I wonder if there's some way we can get Chad to come back on the show with some kind of like goal, like we hit 100 reviews and we get Chad back for an episode or something.
Well, I was thinking
maybe there's some way we can incentivize. Yeah,
well, I was gonna really hit him up as we got closer to the 100th and have him come and be on the 100th, because the first one to the 100th kind of would be a fun little reunion.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Let's ask him if he'll do it if we get. How many reviews are there right now?
I don't know. We'll have to do some research.
Okay, we'll do some.
Hundy's not bad though. Either way, yeah. I don't know. It seems poetic.
And some new users don't even know who we're talking about because they're new.
They didn't go back and listen.
Yeah,
Chad and I
go back
started
and
the show together.
binge listen, and it was Heath and Chad that started it out.
Yeah,
Chad and Heath.
Probably the first 35, 40 or so, maybe.
33. I want to say something. 35 sounds right, but I don't want to misspeak.
No.
So our first headline today. Our last episode, we talked about emails. We're also talking about emails this week, but in a different way. A Sydney boss, Sydney, Australia, got slams lazy staff in brutal Friday email. He slammed his exhausting workers and warned they will, quote, feel his wrath if they don't pick up their game in a brutally honest email that went viral over the weekend. Under the subject line, Friday observation, the recruitment agency boss laid down the law. Morning, guys. Quick observation. And I'm going to sum this up, and I'm going to skip some language. If you want to read the whole thing, it's on the internet. Go ahead. 1, endless ping pong during... Jenny grabs her phone. Endless ping pong during core BD business hours. 2, not even bothering to put a suit on or pretending to look the part. And 3, some of you take more sick days than Tom Hanks during the dying days of Philadelphia. He's got a few more points. He ends it with, any questions, give me a shout, and you better, all caps, you better all up your game when, I guess the boss, is in Thailand, or you will, quote, feel my wrath, and that is not pretty.
And you're sorry AWSs won't have a job. That's what he says.
Yeah, it is. That's the part I left out. After realizing the email had been circulated externally, basically on Twitter, he sent a follow-up note apologizing. Hello, everyone. As you know, it's not often I'm wrong, but when I am...
It's not often I'm wrong.
Not often, but when I am, I'm happy to hold my hands up. And
it's one of those good email phrases.
Yeah.
Not often am I wrong.
It's a good one. I wanted to apologize for my email rant earlier today. It seems I'm becoming an online sensation for how not to communicate, and in hindsight, I agree. I do value all, but I'm sure you get my sentiments in wanting to reach your full potential, even if my delivery in this case was not at my loquacious best. Thanks, guys, have a good weekend. I hope to see you all on Monday.
What does that
They're
mean?
like, so did you fire me?
Yeah, so did you fire me? What
was
exactly
that big word he threw out there?
Loquacious. It's a good one.
It means talks a lot.
So we have an email
Thank you, Matt.
from a boss.
You bet.
Slamming his employee. Thank you, Matt. Slamming his employees. And then once it goes viral, he comes back and apologizes. Heath?
Here's the funny thing. You know that wasn't a one-off because somebody snapshot it to share it because they're probably sick of it. And number two reason why you know that's normal is because he started off with, it's not often I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
This guy sounds insufferable.
yes, I have a feeling he and I would not get along very well,
Yeah.
to say the least.
You're definitely right on reading between the lines, though. This cannot be the first time this has happened.
Oh, no.
This is somebody who's fed up, and they're like, I'm posting this on the internet. I don't care anymore. Like, and it's something else. And they blacked out names for the purposes of privacy, I guess. But the email's on the internet. You can read it. And it seemed like a quick tone change when it went viral, like, as it often is.
Do you ever wonder, babe, how because this person's obviously the head of some company, or he's there? It sounds like there are other bosses above him, but he's the boss. How this person gets to a leadership position like this with this type of attitude?
It should shock me, and I should wonder. However, there's such a lack in true leadership that it's not a massive pool. So there's a ton of these top people out there that this person has produced at some level. That's why, in a good level, probably that's why he's there. But there's not enough good leadership. I mean, the truth of the matter is there's not a lot of real leaders. There are great, like, engineers that have an engineering company, but it's not a leader. There's great salespeople that can sell, but is not a good leader. There's great all kinds of, but a leader is still hard to find. That's why leadership and self-help industry is one of the biggest industries there is.
So here's my question for you on that. So say someone has proven to be successful to a certain level within their company, and they're kind of at the height of where they could be, but their management comes to them saying, hey, we think that you've produced well here. We would like to make you a boss, which is a totally different job than being the producer of whatever product or whatever their industry is. What advice would you have for them if they're saying, okay, I want to jump to that level, but I have no idea about how to manage or how to lead or how to motivate people?
You've got to just start diving in and learning. I mean, there's tons
like
of...
on the job, or do they read a book, or do they go to a seminar?
There's tons of leadership books. There's tons of leadership podcasts. You need to engulf yourself into learning and training. Like, a lot of people think that you graduate college and your education is done. No. Whatever you do in every aspect, you got to continue education. The best thing about leadership is there are literally thousands of books, podcasts, and everything. If you continue to read and learn and put them into study, you study them and you put them into work, and you do it over time, you're going to slowly have a better education and be a better and better leader. As a leader, you need one of the biggest keys is you're stepping into that. You're learning right there, right? But you must make sure you have ways to check in with your team and ask for candid feedback of where you're lacking. And if you're getting a consensus, you've got to go back. And, I have a thing where we do these anonymous survey on every couple of years that it's a really in-depth fill out about who I am and things that I have, to where it brings up where maybe there's a common where I'm lacking.
Mm-hmm. People review you. Yeah. Your people who work for you review you, is what you're saying.
Yes. And then that's whenever I know if there's a common that I go, okay, that's where I've got to really work on my leadership there, because you can be good in these certain areas of leadership, not there. That's why it's a continuing education. You've just got to start educating yourself and slowly and keep learning and keep learning. You don't read one leadership book and you're fixed. It doesn't work. You've got to if you're going to be in a leadership role and you want to be great, you got to be reading or learning something on leadership forever now, because there's always something to be better at it. And I've let my emotions get the best of me at times on with people's performance and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm known to have the all caps email go out.
Okay.
To the whole company?
No, to my leadership team. Yeah. But not in, and let me make sure I make this clear. It's not cussing people out. It is not stuff like that, the guy says.
Okay.
It is nothing like that. It is usually 2 or 3 sentences. Because I don't do it often, I don't have that is, for instance, there's that we were supposed to have a group of management level being brought in for a training, and almost all of them dropped the ball. None of them had any other people coming. Right. For some reason, they just decided to, and they have not been hiring them like they should, and developing the people. Mm-hmm. And so I sent a 2 or 3 sentence deal on all caps that was very simple. That for any of you that don't have this done, that's fine. but I'm going to be hiring your counterparts that could be right next door to you to start growing and building if you don't get on the team.
Right.
Because this is absolutely unacceptable to not be developing the people and letting them know and being on top of it.
Not quite, quote, you will see your sorry asses fired.
That would never, that type of stuff has never come out of my mouth with it. It is a very much so different but it is an all caps 2 or 3 sentences of I'm getting my point out, but I don't do it bad language, not like it's not, I don't do the you better else or what. I just tell you what I'm going to do if this continues to happen, and I may be finding other people that will and letting you stay there, and maybe they'll kick your butt.
What you feel is constructive.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't do it very much.
Right.
It's got to really push me over.
Right. As opposed to this guy who's probably doing it on the regular.
Well, he's not often wrong, so obviously, you know what I mean.
Clearly, yeah, he's not often wrong.
He is not the model of being correct and kind of being I guarantee he's not the easiest person to work with, but. What is your take on this story?
Well, my take on this is I had to pull up this quote because I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. It's a Benjamin Franklin quote, but it's anger is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one.
I like that.
Say
that again.
Anger is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one.
I like it.
So I think it puts in perspective what this person's dealing with. And so I kind of, my initial reaction was, oh my gosh, someone check this man's blood pressure and cortisol levels. Like his stress is through the roof, and that's on him.
Yeah.
So the employees, obviously they're not doing well, or their sales aren't where they need to be, or whatever. But also we've got to live in this life. You live in this body, and you're taking on the stress of this whole company and then putting that out, and then also putting that stress on all of them too. Mm-hmm. That's just not healthy for you. So you have to find a way to manage this, because putting out that type of letter only puts the stress back to you again, because nobody's feeling empathy for you. No one's wanting to help you. No one's wanting to get on your team or get on board with you. And then it compounds the stress even more. So just from an overall livelihood, lifestyle balance perspective, you cannot be blowing up like that at people.
Yes. Right. I had assumed when I read this was a mistake. That he typed it up and then didn't mean to send it, or meant to send it to a couple of close coworkers. And he was quick to, you read this, you're quick to remind me, no, this was on purpose. He intentionally sent that, which is mind-boggling to me.
I have a feeling that people aren't lining up to go work there.
Yeah, I guess that's obviously this guy probably shouldn't be in a position where he can do this to people, but I'm curious, what do you think would be a proper response from the people above him that look at this thing go viral, and now their company, we don't have the name of the company, but clearly their going-ons are now on Twitter for the world to see. Here's
the thing, is if he's getting production, the people above could care less what the culture is like there.
Right. Yeah, that makes
for the
sense.
majority of the time, if people got production and stuff, they let them get away with whatever they want. The problem is when you are that type of person, what you got to remember, it's a lonely life, because you have zero loyalty. Nobody would die. Nobody would, if your job was on the line because production wasn't happening, those people aren't going to step up at the end to do whatever they can for you to keep your job. They may lay around and be lazy just so you lose your job.
Right.
So it's going to be a very lonely life. That is a very sad way to be, and you're never going to have longevity, because you're not going to have people willing to go to war with you when you're willing to cast them out so quickly. So, there's obviously even a lot more ways I can go there. But leadership is lacking in this world in general, because if there were more people studying leadership to be better leaders in general, with better, EQ around dealing with people, then these people wouldn't be empowered. But there's just not a whole lot of them. So why don't you go out there today and maybe be one of them? We'll be back in a minute for second segment of Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot, coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to EnergyOgre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about is this the real deal, and go do it right now. EnergyOgre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
Woo! There's our little. That's gonna be the new Brighton entry into the segments. The woo.
We're also doing it because Matt switches so quick from shot to shot all by himself.
Yeah,
so
now that monitor's in here, we've really been turned on to this whole thing. I knew.
I'm afraid it's going to become distracting in there.
No, it's not going to make it onto the show or anything. We're not going to talk about it, so that's fine. Our next headline: Man filmed shaving on train, says he was trying to clean up after staying in a homeless shelter. Anthony Torres, 56, was traveling on a New Jersey transit train when he covered his face in a thick layer of foam before getting out his disposable razor and giving himself a thorough shave. Somebody filmed it, of course, because that's what we do. The footage has been viewed nearly 3 million times since it was uploaded on Twitter. Mr. Torres says the people judging him on social media don't know the struggle he's been through in his life. The truth, he said, is that the video captured him in a vulnerable moment. He's been homeless and staying in a shelter in New York City. He said he left the shelter before having a chance to shower and clean up and wanted to look presentable. I don't want to say that I'm homeless and let everybody know. That's why I was shaving on the train.
Before he went and seen his family.
Yeah. He said he's worked a number of different jobs, including casino security guard and then construction. He's bounced from Florida to New York. Medical conditions have also been a problem for him. He's had 2 strokes in the past 2 years. He said he didn't realize he was being filmed on the train, and when he found out the video was circulating on the internet with almost 3 million hits, he was amazed and a little upset. I never thought it would go viral, people making fun of me. A crowdfunder has been set up to help Mr. Torres get back on his feet and has already raised $4,000. You can donate by clicking the link, which I'm sure we'll probably include somewhere. So, yeah.
Absolutely makes me extremely angry.
It's rough.
Nothing angers me more than your pathetic first thing to do is to film the man shaving on the deal. Your first thought is, I want to film this and put it pathetic. You're pathetic. Whoever did it, you're pathetic. And I don't ever wish anything bad on people, but I'm going to tell you something, that karma's not good. Your first thought should have been, maybe I need to help that guy out. It's sad that in our society today that people's first thoughts aren't helping somebody and reaching out a hand. It is to make fun of a man who is trying to better himself. The man is sitting there cleaning himself up because he has some pride and dignity to go see his family and not be looking like that. And that is absolutely something that should be praised. That man is something that we should be going, I want to help you out. You know, I want to have some empathy for you. Not shaming him and videoing the man when he was literally shaving to be cleaner and more presentable to see his family. And it breaks my heart that we have people today that would do that and be like that.
Yeah, it's rough. I think we've all seen people doing odd things in public, whether it be a businessman shaving on a train or, I don't know. But anytime I see something like this, I think to myself, man, that's weird. And I might talk to somebody about it later, Christine or a coworker when I get to work, and be like, you're not going to believe this thing I saw. And usually somebody there is quick to say, well, you never know. You never know the circumstances. You never know what happens. I definitely don't film it and put it on the internet.
Right. So the person that posted this was kind of comparing it to when people sometimes clip their nails in public, or I guess there was a viral video of a woman like shaving her legs on a train or something like that, just getting grooming things done, and it grossed people out.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where that came from, and that's why that person posted it. But here's the thing. That person posted it for 2 reasons. To make themselves feel better about themselves. It's that simple thing that we all learned in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And the second reason is the modern version of that, which is to get more clicks and hits and looks and likes and retweets, and to elevate their own status as
which is pathetic.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Agreed. But it's really, you have to think about when you're posting these things, like that we all have this amount of space and time, and if that's what you're going to spend your 5 minutes videoing, and then you're also your 5 minutes uploading and posting about, like, what is your life? What is your meaning and your value? And was that 5 minutes you could have spent on the phone with your mother? or calling somebody or helping somebody or reaching out to that
or
person.
5 minutes
It's
reaching
just,
over the aisle.
Reaching over, yeah. And that person didn't know his circumstances either, but you have to just withhold judgment. I'm just saying, like, when you're about to do something that's ugly like that, and this person that posted this knew that was an ugly thing to post, to embarrass somebody like that. You just have to think about, okay, so say you don't want to help them. The least you can do is not make fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, there's nothing worse than as we've talked about this before, Jenny and I have, that when you get out of the judging game, you don't know what people's struggles are. You don't know what people have been through. You don't know the situation. Stop judging others. If everybody would get out of the judging game, your life will get much simpler. I pray that more people will have the heart that when they see that, they figure out how to reach across the aisle and have empathy and see if they could do something to make somebody's day better versus their first thought being, I want to video this and share it and make fun of somebody. I pray that more people get hearts. And I pray that if I was in that situation, that my thought would be reaching across that aisle. I'm not going to... I pray that I can show my daughter that you reach across the aisle and you don't judge others. Because the judging game is what is killing our society. People are judging everybody. Everybody's getting judged. Everybody's getting, whether it's judging them because they're on this pedestal and they want to be like them so much, or it's judging their flaws or anything like that. You don't know others' stories. You don't know what they've been through. And it's, you know what it also is? It's one of those things that it brought up the importance of what it is to give somebody a smile and a compliment of how important it could be. That you never know what people are going through to do that. And just a smile and a compliment, have empathy for people and stop judging versus this. I thought it was the most pathetic thing on earth for somebody to do that to this man.
Yeah, I think we've all ridden public transit, and you'll see questionable things sometimes. I mean, it's public transit; it happens. But that's what it's for. It's for people to get around. And we record the show in Dallas. We've got the DART. It's a great system. I've been at the DART at 1 a.m. in Deep Ellum. There's some questionable things you see on the DART. But one of the only things I could think that's a worse thing to do on the DART than what I might find somebody doing, like sleeping or what have you, is filming somebody doing something on the DART and posting it to the internet for laughs. Like, that's worse. That's not any better.
It's really too bad that our first assumption, especially in this case, is that, well, this guy's a disgusting human being. I mean, and not, well, he could be, he might not have time, or he may not have the ability to shave anywhere else.
Yeah.
And rather than film it, it takes just as much time to reach over there and say, hey, can I get you anything? Do you need anything? Do you need to find a restroom? Like, can that help? Or can I get you a towel or anything like that? It's too bad. I'm sure he's not, I don't want to go so far as to say he's a hero. I'm glad people are raising money for him if they want to donate to him. I'm sure he's made his mistakes, but like you said, he has at least enough pride in himself now to be like, I want to look good for my family. I'm going home to see my family. They're going to help me out. And I want to at least try to be presentable, and that should be commended. You don't have to praise him, or you don't have to call him a hero, but you could say, look, he's got the dignity to try to at least take care of himself. Some of
the worst, the worst type of personality to have is somebody that looks to kick people when they're down. You know what? I reach out across the aisle a lot more than I should, and I give and step in when I've been burned by people that is definitely can get the best of, but I Jenny always, I'm like a extreme optimist on everything. Like, I never think anything's gonna go wrong.
Right.
Like I can be gullible. I would say maybe I can be.
I don't know, gullible. It's just you're very optimistic.
Yeah, and in all general. So it's like, but I hope that, I wish that. If you're listening to this, I hope that if you feel like you may have been the person video or something, that this catches you to go changing the heart that you have and your empathy for people, and stop judging. That maybe this, hopefully, if you go, man, I might have been that person that video, that this can maybe stop you. So if this ever kind of comes up in your path, that you can kind of remember it and go, man, it would probably be better right now to reach across the aisle and show empathy.
Just make one better choice.
Choice.
Maybe you don't have the money to help him, or maybe you don't have the ability, or maybe you have to get off the train, but
Tell
can
him
at
his
least
shave looks good. So
Yeah.
you got every spot, buddy. It looks good, man.
you can at least just
Yeah.
not add fuel to the fire. You can at least not be the
At
person
least
that's
not
ridiculed.
video. Yeah.
You can do that much.
You're looking at me kind of weird right now, Jenny.
No, I'm liking. We talked about this actually on the air on Morning Dose, the show
Yeah.
that I work on, and I said a similar thing to what you're saying, and I almost am like, man, I wish I'm like in my head, I'm thinking, I wish the producers would have had you on to share that message, because there really is just a greater message about kindness, and kindness doesn't get TV ratings perhaps if you pitch it as a story, right? But that's really simple and can make a huge difference in so many lives.
I hope this story helps you have more empathy. I hope this story hits you in a way that if you felt like you might have been the person doing the video, that this changes your outlook, that if this time and I also pray that not only just not filming it, but I honestly hope that if you see something like this, you decide to reach across the aisle, give a compliment, give us something to make a day better, and not just let it go by. And we'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
I may need to go try to find something to lower my blood pressure after that last segment.
I know. You got to do it. Deep breath.
Oh, man. Like I said, the crusher for me is the quote at the end when they got a quote from me. He said, I never thought it'd go viral. People making fun of me. That's such a bummer.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
I know.
It really hurts my heart.
It's worse that those things do go viral.
Sad thing is, it makes me have so much anger to the person that do it, that posted, that I want to hurt them, and I know it's not the right thing.
That's not the moral of the story.
I know. I can't help it.
Yeah, silver lining to the whole thing. The guy's got a GoFundMe going, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, if somebody don't steal it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that happened.
Remember that one GoFundMe thing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What a wonderful world we live in. Yeah.
Second Shot group on Facebook. We're going to talk about some of the stuff some people posted in there that I think is pretty cool.
Oh, you mean the second shooters?
The second shooters. You're not a real second shooter unless you're in the Second Shot group on Facebook.
True that.
Facebook.com/groups/Second Shot.
Nailed it.
Groups, plural. Watch out for that. I've got that in a couple of links. It's plural. Groups/Second Shot. That's it.
Oh, in the Energy Ogre deal, here's what a lot of people ask that has been
Oh,
issued.
yeah,
The
people have been asking about that.
code for Energy Ogre, if you go sign up, Second Shot is one word.
Okay.
For the promo code, it's not two words.
Gotcha.
And it's Energy OGRE.
Yeah.
Energy
Ogre.
OGRE. And that's for if you live in Texas.
Yeah. Save
Discount
some money
on your
electricity.
bill.
Is it Texas only?
Yes.
That should be worldwide.
They need to expand it.
they
They
really
really
do.
do.
Only
It's
a couple states. There's only a
phenomenal.
handful of states that have deregulated electricity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Texas.
So you go on, you sign up, you use the promo code, and what does it give you?
Month free.
Okay, so you can try it
Really? A
out
whole
and see,
month?
and then if you feel like you don't
Man.
like it, then you can cancel, but you're not going to not like it. You're going to be obsessed with it.
Winter's coming up. Those heating bills will get you. Watch out.
Second Shot is only one word. That has been the deal in the promo code. It's only one word.
One word.
And we also did get a new review on iTunes.
Huzzah!
This is somebody who knows you.
Woo!
Who I have a feeling you're going to know who this is.
Oh, no.
Sounds
Who
like
is it?
Uh-oh.
It says, I'm so happy. It says, love it. 5 stars. What? I'm so happy to have finally figured out how to find your shows. Great dynamic between the three of this on one. I think she meant to do that a little different. Between
Well,
the
whatever,
three
it's fine.
on this one.
Yes.
It's like having Jenny back in my house. So happy for you both.
Who could it be?
It says Leah Hawaii.
Oh, I think I do know who it is.
Yeah? You know
Yes.
who that is?
Yes, I do. I
Aw.
totally know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
her
A
whole
connection
full
on
name,
the
but
air.
thank you for that post and review. That was very sweet. And
That's very
she's let me
sweet.
know that she's been listening. So
awesome.
that's awesome.
Something I love about this show, podcasting is growing. I keep seeing people. My mom keeps sending me things like, "Look, your industry is turning into something." I know, Mom. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been working down that for a while.
I love hearing from people. This is like their first podcast, or like I didn't get into podcasting before this. Like it's great. I love it. Because I don't know, there's something about this is Heath's dying over there.
He's dying, but it's fine
I'm
because the
kidding.
podcast industry is doing great.
Matt's got it.
Yeah, I got it.
like there's something about like this being like, I think it's such a great place to start, and I love like hearing that like not only do I listen to your show, but like this is the first show I've started listening to. Like, thanks, gang, that's really cool. You're jumping into a whole medium with us.
Yes, and they're subscribing. Remember to click subscribe so that you're not having to look every time.
Yeah, that's not
You know what I
if
mean?
hit
That way
subscribe.
it pops up.
Yeah.
Because I've had a couple of them that I like to listen to, and then I just they fell off of my subscriber list, and then I forgot, and then I was like, oh yeah, whatever happened to so and so's podcast? So anyway, subscribe.
You know what I
Every
would like to see
Friday.
too is like for more people to actually just, on the 3 dots next to it, all you gotta do is click share via, and you can share it straight to your Facebook. I feel, there's a lot of people we get a lot of good feedback for. Share the episodes you really like on your Facebook. Tell your friends to listen.
Yeah, the share's the big ask. That's always the hard one. But man, bonus points if you can share the show. How about
So
that?
it's cool. One thing on the Second Shot group, Ken Hansen, who got a hat,
Yeah.
Oh, shout to
posted a
Ken.
picture of him and his hat and his 2 boys.
Oh, I
His
love that picture.
I think it's an awesome picture, Ken. You and your boys like
So
playing
cute.
baseball. You got the Second Shot hat. I love the picture, Ken.
I don't want to say you might have created a little supply and demand here, Heath, but like for me, for shows I like to buy swag from, or at least wear them where I can, because not only is it a way for me to like financially support the show, but also like in public.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Yes.
like you can wear it and people can ask. It's usually a good conversation starter. So for people who are asking about getting stuff,
Hey, you know
we
what?
haven't answered yet.
Well, you know what's funny is?
Yeah.
Is what's I haven't figured out how to streamline it enough to where if there was
To
an
where it
order
makes
that I got to
sense.
pack
like a
boxes and-
storefront or something.
Yeah, I mean, I got to figure out a way to do it where, because I don't know where I could.
It's really
find
expensive to just do like 10 shirts or
yeah.
30
It's like a
shirts
bulk
or whatever.
thing.
But
Yeah.
then if people just ordered them, I would have to go fill them all myself and go do that. And I don't know how quick I could do it because I'd have to, figure out when I can find that in my time slots.
Yeah.
To
So
get
if
it done.
anybody knows of actually like a really good
Easier way to streamline
easier
it.
way to do it where
It could
second
just be
shooters
done.
can just go on
It's
there.
not
We
bad.
can put up the logo and make
That's a
the
good
shirt and
ask,
everything
Jenny.
like that.
Yeah.
So if you've worked with a company before where people could just go on, and the
Like a
name is
distributor?
yes, because we
No.
did a TV station I worked for in Indianapolis. We had hashtag Team No Sleep. That's where Team No Sleep for me began. And one of
Indianapolis.
our viewers put together a shirt like that where people could go on and order Team No Sleep stuff. So anyway, if you guys know what that is,
I've got one we can talk about.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
Matt,
cool.
Matt knows a place.
So here's another thing too. This just made me think of it because I had Roy who helped me write the book.
Mm-hmm.
He puts together a lot of the memes and stuff for me. Roy's awesome.
I
He's
love
a great
those.
writer. He's really the genius behind the book.
Yeah.
And Roy has been making the memes and stuff. And he said, we need to get a bunch of some of the top like Heathisms, because some of the things I say and. He was like putting them on a meme or do it as a Second Shot shirt, type thing with some of
Yeah.
the Heathisms that are people's favorites. So if you have a Heathism that you've ever heard that you really like, post it on the Second Shot group or
Ooh.
send it to secondshotcast@gmail.com. And who knows, if we get an online little store going, maybe some Heathism shirts and stuff coming
That'd
up
be
that are
funny.
funny.
I will wear a Heath Oak shirt.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, sign me up.
I think it'd be funny.
I already have Heath's face on my yoga pants, so that's as far as I'm gonna go.
There are people that follow this show that would want a pair of those yoga pants. So, to be fair, those are in demand. All right.
True.
You should enjoy wearing those.
And so we had Marisol, who's been on the show before, who's a
course.
friend of ours.
Hey,
Yeah.
Marisol.
She made a
Hey.
post, she said, we only get better by failing better. What did you fail at last week and what made you better? And there's a whole bunch of comments and people talking about where they failed at. And a friend of mine that's in the group, Chase Case, and he posted this. Y'all need to go to the group just to watch this 3-minute video. It was awesome.
I gotta check this out.
He posted, a lot of you may know who Trent Shelton is. He's an influencer. And he's really articulate. He's kind of like the Chad too, because Chad's so articulate and can go off. This Trent is too.
Yeah.
And he has got a video, Real Situations Expose Fake People, and he has a 3-minute little deal on it, and it's really, really good. You know how Chase posted, because when we talk about how you got to be careful who's sitting at your table, who's bringing a fork, and who's just bringing that fork to eat, or who's bringing a little bit of something to the table, and so this Trent in this video had another kind of little same, just a different way of saying it, but was you always got to be looking out that who's in the boat rowing and who's drilling holes.
Yeah.
So if you're rowing and somebody's back there drilling holes, it's kind of the same type of thought process, which I thought was really cool. And then, Mr. Matt here was asking about some of the waking up in the morning and some morning.
You shamed me into posting on there, so I posted on there.
And I noticed he did it
Wait,
today.
what did Matt ask about?
He literally did it and it's funny. He did it literally like 2
right
hours
before we got here.
Yeah, because he knew that he had it. And he's like, oh my God,
What
if I
was
don't
his
post, he's
question?
going to shame me again. Am
right.
I right, Matt? Be real.
No, well, I've been sitting on that one for a while. But you're right. I was like, oh gosh, I've been meaning to post something.
Just
They're about to
needed a
come
good
in.
reason.
I need to get something.
Yeah.
Well,
No. So I was just asking people for how they like to get their day started, because I have always had trouble getting up in the morning. I like being up in the morning. I like the early morning hours and having that time, but I always choose the snooze button and staying warm a little bit longer, probably because my wife keeps the house cold. And so I choose that over taking an extra half hour to an hour in the morning. And I just wanted to see what people had to say about getting your day started.
I love that topic. I love hearing about people's morning routines too. Once they get up, what do they do, and what have successful people found to be effective? I'm so curious about that, because I really, really believe that those first few minutes or first, even hour sets your whole intention and can set your mode for the day. If that hour is bad, I think you can turn it around.
Yeah.
But I think you can really positively impact your day. So I'll be curious to see what people say about the morning routine, or just basically, what do you do to get yourself out of bed in the morning?
Yeah.
So set 5 alarms.
Even just having time to have a little breakfast, I think it can be a big, and not having to rush or grab something on the way in, and just
Makes a
being able
big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heath's been doing that. You've been cooking your breakfast instead of getting something on the road.
Irma actually been cooking me breakfast.
Yeah, our nanny's been cooking your breakfast. So everybody gets yourself a nanny, even if you don't have a child.
Get you an Irma.
I'm in there next to Brighton with my bib on.
doing sign language.
Yeah.
Just excited.
Second Shot Facebook group. secondshotcast@gmail.com. Any of those, send some Heathisms you like that you've heard that you laughed at. That would be funny. And we go to you, Jenny. Where can they find you at?
JennyAnchondo.com, at JennyAnchondo on Instagram. Look at the stories. That's where all the fun behind the scenes stuff is. And Jenny Anchondo TV on Twitter.
I'll be at Apple Zackintosh on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll be at the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Second Shot. That's us. Check it out.
And Matt's in the group too, asking questions about morning routines.
Hot questions
right before the recording to make sure you didn't get shamed. Leave a rating and review. Heath Oaks, Ignorance on Fire, and on any of the platforms. I love you guys. See you next time.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.